Voice of Mr. Perry Como, and I love you. So how's everybody doing today? I thought, you know what, I wanted to do the crooners. I love the crooners. I know most people would say I'm not old enough to know the crooners, but we're going to talk about how crooning has gone from the 60s to the 90s because it still lives on. And I think if anybody's over a certain age, they would say no good music was made after a certain point. So we're right on the money there. So you know what? We're gonna talk about the crooners of the 60s, the 70s, 80s, and maybe even the 90s. So we'll see how we go. But let's start off with a little Bobby Darin is got Dream Lover. We're gonna start off with that. As you know, these were the golden voices and the ones that I really like myself. With Dream Lover, one of my favorites for sure. You know, the Rat Pack was, I think, is what brought crooning on, right? There's lots of crooners now, but everybody goes back to the Rat Pack, and I think this was the leader of the Rat Pack, Mr. Frank Sinatra. Crooners of the 60s in my book anyway, and I was born in 62, or 63. Yeah, I don't even know I was born in 63. Anyway, I think this next guy, I don't know if you realize he's part of the Rat Pack. You guys all know Sammy Davis Jr. is one of my favorites for sure. But I don't know if I think not only was he super talented and had Mr. Bojangles and Candyman and some of those great ones, but at the time, if you think back to the 60s, there was a lot of discrimination and stuff going on. And, you know, Frank is known for his talent, but he's also known for his high temper. And I'm not sure how many people realize that he was known for actually helping bring our worlds together. He used to protect Sammy Davis Jr. If somebody said he's not allowed in there, then Frank wouldn't go in there. And that's what I like about him. And I think that's one of my favorites is called The Candyman.
Thank you very much, ladies.
That's a great one here. And of course, they had Joey Bishop and Dean Martin were part of that as well. And they have a little medley going on of some of the stuff they did. Dean Martin for you. I love that one for sure. That's Amore. Hey, this next guy was out a little bit before that, but whether he's considered a crooner or not, I consider him a crooner. And I know that he wrote a lot of the songs for people like Frank Sinatra. This is Paul Anka. And I'm sure every time Frank sang My Way, Paul said, "You are my destiny."
All the way from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and today.
All right, so we are counting down and talking about the crooners of the day. That was the 60s, early on the 60s. You had, we just played Paul Anka with You Are My Destiny. Of course, he had Diana and Lonely Boy and all those. More into the 50s is when he was there, but he was doing a lot of stuff. And in fact, I saw Paul Anka, one of the best concerts I've ever seen. We were just talking about the Rat Pack. We played some of that stuff, and Perry Como was in there. And then in the late 60s, the 70s, things started moving a little bit. Of course, you know, there's a lot of different people came in. Tom Jones, Engelbert Humperdinck, Barry Manilow, Neil Diamond, all these people came in and changed the way they were doing. Not only were they changing crooning, they were still keeping it alive, but they were adding a little more pop to it. But then it became, in the old days, you had to go to Vegas to see, Frank Sinatra or somebody that, and now you were able to see it on television. And one of the ones that we saw for sure was Engelbert Humperdinck with Release Me. One of my favorites for sure. This next song came out at the end of 68 and was really good in the 70s for sure. Saw him do this at the side of the river in Boston, Massachusetts one year. The 500,000 people doing the same song was amazing. Here we go, a little Neil Diamond with Sweet Caroline. He falls into every genre, but you know what? It doesn't matter what show. You just got to play a little Elvis, don't you think? Here we go, a little Suspicious Minds. The 70s and 80s were known for classic rock and big hair bands, but this guy kept the crooners alive with this song. This is Barry Manilow and Mandy.
More music. More fun.
Hope you're enjoying the Oldies Show. I'm your host, Bruce Outridge, and today we are talking crooners. That's right, we're going from the 60s on to the 90s, maybe a little bit further than that, and we've been talking about the Rat Pack. We've been talking about how it changed a little bit. The 70s got a little more pop rock to it, if you will, and then in the 80s and 90s, people kept it coming on. they've mixed it again. Like this guy here, Mr. Michael Bolton. Remember Michael Bolton with the hair? Oh, how am I supposed to live without you? This is one of his. He kept crooning alive. Oh, little Michael Bolton for you right there. Oh, that's a great song. And then, of course, this person came on as well. You guys know him very well, Mr. Harry Connick Jr., and he had It Had to Be You. This is from that When Harry Met Sally. Crooning, all about romance and all of that kind of stuff. This guy's Canadian. I got to play a double shot of this guy. Little Michael Bublé. We just played Michael Bolton. Right, Mr. Michael Bublé. All right, there we go, my friends. There we go. We have gone from the 60s to the 90s. Do we think that the crooners are dead? I don't think so. As long as the new people keep redoing the old songs and bringing new life to it, I think it's going to be here for a long time. That's what Michael Bublé's been doing. In fact, this guy, I don't know if you remember, we're going to go out with this one, but this guy used to be a rocker in the 70s, and now he's singing standards. So hope you enjoyed that. Join us for another edition of the Oldies Show. I'm your host, Bruce Outridge. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll talk to you later. Let's go out with a little Rod Stewart with Bye Bye Blackbird. See you, everybody. Bye for now.